So we apologize. We were having some technical issues, but we should be good now. So first down for Woodberry on that last play. They have it up around the 37 now. As that going deep. Jack Hall in coverage, and it's incomplete.
That was very good defense, better thrown ball, almost a catch by number 11, Desir Carter, who's also a 4-star player, a sophomore as well.
Yeah, it's very surprising that that ball was dropped. Jack Hall didn't get a hand on it. That was just a drop.
And I believe it's Woodberry's second quarterback playing today.
Yeah,
I believe the starter got hurt, so
Phillips
seeing number
Blair.
48.
It's from Little Rock, Arkansas. We have some very, very unique places of birth on this Woodberry team. They got someone from Tokyo, someone from Quebec, like we just mentioned, Arkansas. So they're going to hand it off to Hyder. He's going to be blown up, maybe a gain of 1. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
That was great defense right there. Started by McGuire Boyd just breaking through the A gap, and Addison as well. But McGuire was the first one back there, but then swallowed up by Darius Gray.
Yeah. Darius, one of the best offensive linemen recruits in the country for the class of 2026. He has offers from practically every school you could think of.
Drew Pendlebury's in there right now for Captain Whirl, who is also taking the spot of Gavin.
So 3rd and 8. They're going to go deep again. That pass overthrown and incomplete. Saints defense bends but does not break, and it's going to bring up an interesting decision here on 4th down from the 35. It'll be a 52-yarder. And as we mentioned, Woodberry does have a punter committed to North Carolina, but 52 or 53, it's still be a tough ask.
It looks like they may be punting it. No, field goal.
Offense is coming off the field, and they will send their kicker out to try to hit from 53.
If I was St. Chris, I would put Jacob in the end zone to see if it shows up short, if he can catch it and get a quick return.
Yeah. It's Lucas Osada, number 2, the senior from Charlottesville, Virginia.
We saw his leg in pregame. It's very strong.
Zoller jumped. The field goal was
good.
I think that might have been wide left.
I think it was a delay of game.
Oh.
Zoller did not. So that's going to be interesting.
So that was a smart play by Jacob Zoller, if that is what happened.
It was delay of game.
So really smart play there by Jacob Zoller. He could see from where he was lined up the play clock over there is right in his field of vision. So he probably saw that it was. Oh no, they are moving it up.
What? They called offsides,
wow.
But it's definitely looked like it was delay of game.
Yeah.
But
clock was definitely at zeros.
So now the offense is back on the field.
Yeah. So 4th and 3 now. I'm pretty sure everyone in the stadium knows what play is coming. Going to be some sort of a handoff to Hyder.
They're spreading out the box wide, so it's a lot of one-on-one matchups in between the tackles, which is going to be helpful for Hyder. They might be trying to get us jump off sides and then call a timeout.
Yeah.
They still have 20 seconds, though, on the play clock.
As they're going to drop back to pass, and that is
incomplete.
That is incomplete. Wow. That's a wide open man and just couldn't come up with it. That was Will Leahy, excuse me. Shocking drop there. That's 2 that have killed this drive for Woodberry.
It went right into his hands and he dropped it. When it was falling to the ground, it looked like his knee popped the ball out of his own hands. Unfortunately, Jack Hall was giving him a little too much cushion right there. Afraid of getting beat again earlier. Already got beat once earlier in this drive. So with a quick slant right there on a 4th and 3, most of the time you're going to complete that if you're Woodberry Forest.
So Will Leahy and Desir Carter both with massive drops that killed the drive for the Tigers. And now Khalil Nash is going to come out and lead this Saints offense. So Nash drops back. He has Isaac Lupica. Pass complete for about 4 yards.
I love that play to start out the game for St. Chris. Just getting Khalil Nash in a rhythm, throwing a quick, easy pass to make him see a wide receiver catch the ball and give him confidence throughout the game. It's little things like that that helps a player so much, especially coming off a Fuma game, which he played well in, but it's not much of competition.
Yeah.
But coming off a really rough game against Benedictine.
He also didn't need to throw the ball against Fuma. As a little bit of a bad snap. Looks for Lupika again, and he has him. And that is going to be a St. Christopher's first down.
They were looking for Jacob Zoller on the little seam route from the slot, but safety covered it well. So Cleo went to his second read and passed it to Isaac and got a gain about 10.
Interesting. The way I saw that is it looked like Isaac was his first read. That wasn't open. So then he looked to Zoller, and then when Woodberry saw him look to Zoller, the defender transitioned over there, and that left Isaac open. So he looked back, completed it, and got the first down. As here's Mikey Farley on the carry. He is going to have a pretty good gain of about 5 yards.
This offense is moving very well so far. Hope to finish off in a positive points, either way, field goal or touchdown. Getting first point in this game is going to be very crucial.
Strong carry there by Farley. He got hit right around the line of scrimmage and just managed to fight forward and turn what looked like it was going to be a gain of maybe 1 or 2 into 5 yards.
Trips out left right here.
2nd and 5. Nash going to take off. Khalil Nash cuts it up the middle, makes a man miss, and he's going to have a first down.
It's been 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. They're looking very good on this defense, who's only allowed up 7 points to Collegiate last week. So you know they're good at defense and can stop the ball. So it's good to see this offense driving on them for the first 5 plays.
Nash going to hand it off to Farley. He's going to have about 3 yards.
That was a good, tough run, though. It did not look like there was much of a hole from here, and still just put his nose down and fell forward for 3 yards.
Yeah.
St. Chris head coach, Coach Cullen, is calling the plays well so far, mixing in run and pass, which is going to make this defense not know what's coming ever.
Nash, little bubble screen out for Zoller. Dangerous play there. I believe that was a backwards pass, so if that had ended up on the ground, it would have been a fumble, but it's going to be loss of a pretty solid amount of yards.
I think so, too. That was a backward pass, but seeing how aggressive the safety and outside linebacker were on that play, maybe later in the game you throw a fake screen and do a wheel up the sideline, and that could definitely be open. Something to watch out for later in the game.
So, loss of 6. Very harsh spot there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 12.
If they get about half of this, I can see them going for it on 4th down.
Yeah. So Nash takes the snap, rolls out. Khalil Nash, flags are down. He's going to be brought down.
It looked like it should have been horse collar or face mask. He got pulled down awkwardly. There is a flag down, but I think that's going to be holding.
Shocking no call there, is at least from up in the booth. Definitely looked like he got him by the neck.
The flag is waved off, so it will not be what we thought was going to be holding, but it will be 4th down in about 17.
So they will send Christian Rogers out there to punt now. He has been very impressive this year.
But scary to look out there. Savion Hyder back to return with also number 14, Sheldon Robinson.
Yeah, definitely gonna be trying to punt the ball right here. Don't want it in Hyder's hands. Low snap. Rogers gets it off. Pretty good punt. Will be fair caught around the 22. So about a 30-yard punt there. And Woodberry going to take over just about 2 yards closer than they did last drive.
It's been so far pretty even with the field positioning. Both teams getting about 3 first downs and then just stalling out due to a negative play that the defense have made. So you just want to, offensively, you just want to keep driving that ball, and negative plays do hurt. So just keep trying to get 3+ yards every play.
Yeah, both teams had a good drive going, and then they had one play that killed it. For Woodberry, it was the drop around the 1-yard line by Dysere Carter, and for St. Christopher's, it was that big loss on the bubble screen to Zoller. They're going to hand it off to Hyder. He's going to bounce it right, and he's going to be brought down by Henry Omohundro.
That was great pursuit right there. Jack Hall made him stay inside so the linebackers could get there. On the stat sheet, that's not going to show up for a tackle for Jack Hall, but he did his job keeping containment to allow Henry Omohundro to get there. But so far, the 2 runs that Hydra's got the most gain on have been outside the tackles instead of inside the tackles. So expect more of that later today.
They're going to give it to him again up the middle, and that's going nowhere. Walker Turley gets in there for a big stop.
He barely got there. He got there so quick that he could have taken the handoff, but he tripped him up by his toe string as well.
Yeah. Ankle tackling a 5-star running back is very impressive.
But just fired through what looked like to be the B gap right there for Walker Turley.
So 3rd and 5 now.
Quarterback sweep.
And that's going to be blown up. Addison Goslin lays the hammer, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
That was a massive hit right there by Addison, but Addison looked like he landed on Darius, and Darius is walking off very gingerly right now, which is going to be very, very, very sad to see if he cannot play. But I know he's a tough man and would definitely try to get out there as much as possible.
So Jacob Zoller is back to return for St. Christopher's. So we're going to see Lucas Osada's first punt of the day, like Riley mentioned earlier. North Carolina commit.
Jacob, I just want to let everyone know, is lined up at the other 18-yard line. And look at that punt.
Wow.
Fair caught right to him. Jacob couldn't even return that because how much airtime was on that thing. Like I said, it's about 3 yards airtime for about a 60-yard punt. You don't even see that in college half of the time. That is a crazy punt.
I mean, that is NFL level stuff.
It is. And he can control it, like direct it very well. Watching him in pregame, he was pinning it inside of the 5, practicing for punts inside at the 50-yard line.
I mean, there's some punters who can kick it 70 yards, but they just have no idea where it's going. And if you can kick it that far and control it, it's very impressive.
Indeed. But with St. Chris' second drive, they're starting out with the I formation with both of their running backs in the backfield. Going from about wide receiver heavy to run heavy, it looks like.
As Nash can hand it off to Mikey Farley. He has a pretty good gain of about 5 yards.
That might have been the biggest hole so far we've seen today for either teams. A pull right there by one of the linemen. I think that was number 56 for St. Chris, which is Jack Seal. And he just led and hit a linebacker to open up that hole very well.
Only one safety back there for Woodberry. Look at the matchup at the bottom of your screen. Jacob Zoller, number 1. He's the guy the Saints usually look for those big plays. As Farley's handoff will get him about 2 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and short.
It was back-to-back same plays, just different side. Love to see that the running game is working against Benedictine. They weren't getting much running lanes in there or just even gains at all. So to see them getting positive yardage from the run, even though that most of the people in the stadium know they're going to run it, is still a positive look because a play action later in the game will be very effective with that one high safety.
Oh, they give him the first down there. So they're going to give it to Farley again, and breaks off one tackle, breaks another. Mikey Farley has a first down.
That was great breaking a tackle with leg strength, but what I liked was more impressive was his jump cut to get back into the middle, making another guy miss. Right there in one hole, he made 2 guys miss to get him extra 5 yards. Three straight run plays and about a gain of 20 yards so far. So it's very positive for this running offense attack.
Is Nash going to give it to Cavanis. Tinos Cavanis maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Looks like he gained about a yard, but that was a very slow developing play right there. Didn't have much of a hole to hit or go into, and he's not the fastest guy on the field. He's more of a power running back in between the guards and just go north and south. So that was a very odd play call right there.
So he got about a yard on that carry. So 2nd and 9. Nash gonna hand it to Farley again. He takes it up the middle, gains about 3 or 4. So
same play, opposite side. So they've been running 3 run plays this whole drive, but both sides, and it's been productive enough to bring up a 3rd and about 4, which the whole playbook is open in this situation.
Yeah. If the Saints pick up a first down here, I'd like to see them try to run some sort of play action, as they have them set up for it.
Especially if they get it with a running play right here. Because I expect like a jet sweep, or even if they do go in a jet sweep, don't look like Jacob's out there, so don't see a jet sweep coming. But a read option or a quarterback keep right here looks very promising.
Flags are down. Is Coach Chafee screaming at the refs that they tried to get a timeout off. And
he was screaming at the ref because it looked like it was about to be illegal subbing for St. Chris. One of the running backs ran on late. Don't know exactly which one it was, but Coach Chafee was screaming at the ref that he called a timeout before he got out there. And they gave it to him, luckily, by the line judge on the sideline.
Jacob Zoller is down there getting his wrist taped up by our trainer, Robin Eldridge. Hopefully nothing major, because Saints really cannot afford to lose him.
For how much of a great playmaker he's on offense, I think he's more beneficial on the defensive side, and especially special teams.
Yeah.
One of the best special teams player in the state, I would say.
Yeah. Last week he had a punt return for a touchdown that was only called back off just a cheap hit that really didn't need to happen. Without the block in the back, he still would have brought it to the house, and he had another 40-yard return. Very dangerous as a punt returner.
I think he's averaging close to 30 yards per punt return this year, which is crazy to say.
So 3rd and 4 now. Nash drops, swings it out to Farley. He's going to have a first down and more. Mikey Farley up inside the St. Christopher's 40.
What a great execution play right there. Like we were saying, we wanted to see a play action. That wasn't a normal play action, but I would still call that as a play action. It looked like Cooler Nash was going to run a quarterback sweep to the right, but they set up a screen pass to the left, and he just dumped it over the defensive end and allowed 2 offensive linemen to lead the way for Farley.
Yeah, really nice play design there, as both running backs are available for the screen, so you let Nash make the read on which one has more space, and he made the right choice there, getting it to Farley. As now Nash will give it again to Farley. He will have about 4 yards.
He got hit at the line of scrimmage and dragged number 21 for Woodberry for an extra 4 yards.
See number 1, Jacob Zoller, coming back out there.
Taking Stu Cosby.
If Woodberry continues to leave only 1 safety back there, you have to take a shot at some point to Zoller.
Yeah, especially down here. I would like to take this matchup against number 40 for Woodberry, Leo McBride.
Yeah.
He's giving a lot of cushion, so he knows Jacob's faster than him. So a little play action to get the safety to bid down.
Farley bouncing it outside, cuts it back up. Gain of about 3 will bring up a 3rd and short.
You would think the running backs have to get tired and leaning on them every play this drive. No one else has got it other than the 2 running backs this drive.
A 3rd and 2. This seems like the perfect spot to try to go with a play action and take a shot deep, but we will be seeing that next quarter, as that will do it for your first quarter. No score yet here at Knowles Field. We will be back. So welcome back now. 3rd and 2. St. Christopher's has it on about the 27. They've been very run heavy so far this drive. Only one pass. There's a little screen completed out to to Farley as someone jumped.
Looks like it was Jack Seal right there. Can't tell if it was a false start. Couldn't tell if the defensive line made him cross the line of scrimmage first, but that's a big false start right there because going into this situation, you're thinking it's 2 down territory. You have 2 plays to get 2 yards. Now it's 1 play to get 7 yards, maybe 2 plays to get 7 yards, but it's a very, very awkward situation here for the play calling.
I could see St. Christopher's run it here as they're not in field goal range if they throw an incomplete pass. So maybe just try to get some of those yards back. And Nash will keep it. Khalil Nash cuts it back, bouncing off the tackles. He will have about 4. It will not be enough for a first down. It'll be a
4th and 4, it looks like.
Yeah.
So he got half of the yards. It looked like he had right up the middle right away. He didn't see it till later. If he saw that right away, I think he would have got the first down. A little late to see that caused the safeties and linebackers to swarm to the ball quick enough.
So St. Christopher's will leave their offense out on the field here. 4th and 5. Look for Zoller lined up in the slot as Nash drops out to Mikey Farley. He will not have enough for the first down. So just like St. Christopher's did on Woodberry's first possession, Woodberry forces a turnover inside the 35 here, and they will take over.
That was the very same play that they did earlier in the drive. Khalil rolling out a little bit to the right and throwing it back to the left. That time Khalil didn't roll out much, which first time made the whole defense go towards him. And this time he just stood in the pocket and then threw it to the left. And all the linebackers, I think it was 3 of them, were right there right when Farley caught the ball. Couldn't do much with it. I like the saying, don't fix what's broken, or what's not broken, but you can't keep doing the same plays over and over and over. You got to mix it up.
So Woodberry will take over on the 31 now. So they're going to hand it off to Hyder. He's going to be blown up. Wow. Henry Omohundro, the Virginia Cavalier commit, in there in the backfield, and that's going to be a loss of yardage.
Right there, first person to get back there was Captain World, and then Henry Omohundro, like you said, got the top half of him. But Captain World, to fill in for Gavin, got through to a double team and got his legs and let Henry Omohundro come from the other side and really lay the boom and make him feel the hit.
So 2nd and 4 now, as that was a very clear false start. As Julius Davis for Woodberry just started running his route a second early.
For Woodberry, this is not a good start to your 3rd drive of the game. First play, 3-yard loss. 2nd play, false start. So now you're back to a 2nd and 18. And against this type of defense that St. Chris has run by Coach Toon is very hard to get big plays against.
Especially with the backup quarterback in there. The Saints know what they're trying to do. I mean,
everyone in the stands, I think, knows what they're trying to do. Give it to the best player on the field as much as possible.
When you have a 5-star running back and a backup freshman quarterback in there, you have a pretty good idea of the game plan. As misdirection here, and it's going to be a gain of about 5. That was pitched out to number 13, Jaden Ferguson, but nice play design there, but nice job from the Saints defense to be aware, and it'll be about a 3rd and 14 now coming up.
That was Henry Omohundro once again realizing the misdirection, but that wasn't the quarterback that caught the snap. That was number 11 for Woodberry, Dysere Carter, the one that dropped the ball in the very first possession. Also a 4-star player, and they're using him at Wildcats. It's not the first time we've seen it today, 2nd time, and good play design though for Woodberry.
So Blair drops back, has no one open, and he's just going to spike it. That's intentional grounding.
It looks like the refs may talk about it, but that looks like it should be grounding. There was no wide receiver in the way. You could tell what he was doing. That looked exactly the same play that St. Chris just ran 2 times. Look one way to one wide receiver, throw back to a screen on the other side. St. Chris read it perfectly, though.
So no grounding call, but Woodberry will punt it away from their own 25. And look how deep Jacob Zoller is lined up.
I would say St. Chris is winning the field position battle, but when you can punt it 60 yards, it's hard to win the field position battle.
Jacob's lined up on the 22 right now as he will field it
Looks like he can return it.
Around the 24. Jacob Zoller going to bounce it to the outside. Makes a man miss. Jacob Zoller with a big return.
There is a flag down, though. When you see that and it gets about 20 yards, you're expecting a push in the back or holding, especially on special teams play. It didn't look like there was much of anything right there, but they're probably going to call something like that.
Yeah. Especially when it was thrown, probably a holding, or that's going to be a block in the back against St. Christopher's.
There's a flag on both sides of the field, and it looked like they call it the same thing. So, but whenever Jacob gets that ball on special teams, it's very exciting to watch.
Yeah.
He makes one cut, goes, and they can make another cut, goes. It's very exciting.
He's so electric with the ball in his hands.
Some players are just gifted and can see the holes, not even holes, just lanes to go and hit, and he's one of those players for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to see any holes. He just makes them up himself.
So even though Woodberry brought a lot of their students, I haven't heard them
Yeah, apparently.
What?
They love it.
Technology is very confusing.
welcome back to this second half. We apologize for any technical issues that were showing up during that first half. We had some issues with the audio not connecting, but we should be good now, and we hope you enjoy the second half. We had a very interesting first half of football, very low scoring, but both teams come away with 7. The Saints score with about 20 seconds left in the quarter. Woodberry got their points on a Khalil Nash pick 6 with about 6 minutes left in the quarter. Riley, what have we thought about this game so far?
Very positive and negative both ways, but we ended positively with a 6-minute drive to end the half with a touchdown by Henry Alejandro on a 3rd and 2 from the 2-yard line. And as you see on your screen, Khalil Nash looked like he was about to run it, and right before he gets tackled, just pops the pass over the outside linebacker straight to Henry Alejandro. And it looked like it was a play that wasn't actually designed, but it just worked out in its favor. But very, very smart heads-up play by Khalil Nash, and we'll probably see that on next week's top 5 plays of the week.
Yeah. 5th touchdown in the past 2 weeks for Alejandro.
And before that, he had 0 touchdowns. So for the UVA commit, he's coming on at the end of the year when we definitely need him with 2 big games coming up after this week with Collegiate and Trinity before hopefully a state run at the title.
Yep. So in the soccer news, they're tied 2-2. They're at Stab right now, and not the result that team was looking for, as it is a road game, but a draw against the 9th-ranked team in VISA out of 14 is not what's going to help the Saints here, as they come in as the 5th seed in the recent polls. Obviously, things have changed since then with a big win against Trinity not being included in that poll, but the Saints definitely
don't want to see that ever. And a draw is better than a loss, but
yeah,
dropping tied 2-2 is, that's your defensive problem right there.
Yeah.
Scoring 2 goals in soccer, you should be able to win those games.
Yeah, dropping points on the road always going to be tough. Hopefully they can grab a winner in the last probably 5 or so minutes of this match, but coming away with only 1 of 3 points would be a very tough result in a game they should have been expected to win. But we will be back for the second half in about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So thank you all for tuning in. Stay right here. Welcome back to the second half as Woodberry, their kicker, slips and sends it away, and that's going to just bounce into the end zone nearly out of bounds as it bounced about 3 feet away from the boundary line. But
did slip and still made it into the end zone, but
yeah.
did wobble off the field a little bit. Hopefully he's okay, but that was a perfect kick. That's where a lot of coaches want you to kick the ball in the corner right inside the end zone, away from any kickoff return player. But to start this half, this is the biggest half St. Chris has played yet, coming 3rd in Visa so far. And if you want to get to the top 4 seeds to play for a championship, you need to win this game, especially with 2 big games coming up.
Yeah.
If you drop one, you cannot lose this one here.
The way I see it for St. Christopher's, if they want a chance at making the playoffs, they have to come away with 2 of their next 3 games. If you drop a game against Woodberry or Collegiate, you're going to have to beat Trinity to get in. And
that's a
you can
tough task to do.
You could get away with losing to Trinity as long as you keep it somewhat close and you come away with wins here, and then in 2 weeks from now at Collegiate, you should be able to get in with a 6-3 record. As start off the second half, Khalil Nash once again gives it to Mikey Farley. He cuts it up the middle, and he has about 8 yards.
He was 100% down right there. Woodberry acting like it was a fumble. He landed with his elbow on the ground before he came down, but that was a wide open hole for about 9 yards to start that half off. St. Chris going right back to the running game, which they have ran the ball now for 90 yards on 19 carries, which that's a lot of runs for your 2 running backs. Heavy workload for them.
As Nash here gives it to Cavanis. He has a hole. Konstantinos Cavanis. He's still fighting. He's going to be up around the 43-yard line.
What I loved about that play was not him getting 15 yards, but him laying a hit in at the end on their safety, who was just standing still, thinking he was just going to be able to get an easy hit on him and take him down. But Konstantinos Cavanos just laid his shoulder into him and laid the hit and had to have 5 people to take him down.
Nash going to hand it off to Farley. He has a hole. He's going to have about 5 yards. And maybe this Woodberry defense is starting to tire out after the 21st carry of the night by the Saints.
Indeed, but looks like the coaching staff for St. Chris saw something in the first half that they talked about at halftime with their players, just running it between the 2 guards.
Excuse me, that was not the 21st carry. That was the 31st carry. As Nash gives it to Cavanis. He's going to have about 2 or 3 yards.
It's going to bring about a 3rd and 3.
This could be 4-down territory.
It could be, unless you get a negative play, which St. Chris has already done today on a crucial 3rd down. But I can expect a run, but if I'm a coach, I want to throw the ball right here. You've ran the ball every play for the past 2 drives. Do a little play action possibly. Get the linebackers and safeties sneaking downwards and throw it over top if you're going to do 2 plays to get this first down.
Something to consider for St. Christopher's is what would usually be 4-down territory might not be with how good the leg is on the Woodberry kicker. But 3rd and 4, Nash gives it to Farley. He has a hole, and where do they spot it? He was very close.
They may have to bring the chains out for this one. Nope, the ref says it's a first down.
Mikey Farley gets about 4.5 yards when he needed 4, and that will be a St. Christopher's first down.
Right there, he saw in the hole, but inside the hole, he made a jump cut to his right for him to be able to get pushed by a lineman behind him to get that extra yard for the first down. Right away, it did not look like he was going to get it, but help from the offensive lineman, he did.
Nash gives it to Farley again. Mikey Farley breaks off a tackle, and he's still going inside the 25. Mikey Farley.
That was a very big run right there, as there is some talk in between players right now. One of them is Darius Gray, but that was a great run right there by Farley. Broke 2 tackles before the 10 yards, broke another tackle, and before dragged down inside the 20-yard line.
Something going on with the refs. This might be coming back. He's not sure what is going on here.
I don't see a flag on the play right now.
Was a timeout called before the play?
No, there's something going on with number 72 of Woodberry and Darius Gray. The ref is pulling them together, talking about something. They had a little extra at the end of the play. No one likes being blocked by Darius, so probably got a little extra pushing and shoving right there.
So 72 coming off the field.
The play will stand, though, so they will be at the 25-yard line with that great run, like I was saying, breaking 3 tackles and just keep on moving his legs to get a gain of about 30.
Yeah. from the 25. Nash gonna keep it. Khalil Nash up the middle. He was hit pretty hard there, but manages to hang on to that football.
He got twisted at the end of that tackle, top and bottom. Looked like it could have hurt, but he's moving pretty well. You don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
Especially with his running ability, with us running the ball almost every play so far. The first drive looked like we were going to be pass heavy with 3 straight pass plays, and now we're going to running only.
Yeah. We haven't seen Nash. The last pass we saw Nash throw was that touchdown to Omahundros. He gives it to Cavanis. Konstantinos Cavanis inside the 10, but he just had one man to beat and unfortunately got brought down by his ankles. But
it looked like he was going to break that tackle to get into the end zone, but that was a great cut to see the hole that Darius Gray opened for him and Henry Omahundro right there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to bring that into the end zone. Had no one in front of him. Just a really impressive tackle there from the Woodberry defensive lineman to get him by the ankles. As Nash gives it to Cavanis. He's down at the 1.
Do we see Henry Omahundro going to fullback right here?
Yeah.
Give it to him like we saw twice last week.
I mean, last week 3 times from the 1-yard line, he got that handoff and took it in. But looks like they're going to have him blocking here as they line up with 6 offensive linemen out there. Nash gives it to Farley, and he's in. Touchdown, Saints.
Farley right there just walked it in, and you can hear the crowd going crazy.
So a slow, methodical drive from St. Christopher's. Did not throw the ball once, but they go 80 yards on the ground, and they now lead 13-7.
Old-fashioned football right there, one could say. Not a single pass, like you said, and just in between the tackles almost every play.
Yeah.
Coach wanted to send a message that we're stronger and bigger than you guys are, and they succeeded on that drive.
Slocker's extra point is up and good. So 14-7 now is your score here at Knowles Field. I mean,
you can see the momentum swing from Woodberry to St. Chris very quickly. Yeah, Woodberry's sideline with all their students they brought down here is very, very quiet, while St. Chris over here with the parents with their bells and St. Chris student section chanting right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could ask for a better way to set the tone at the start of the second quarter.
Mike. Mikey Farley has 121 yards on 28 carries.
Yeah, I mean, if this is an old-fashioned football, I don't know what is.
But as a total, they have 38 carries, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, they might end up running the ball 60 times this game. And, you know, when you are a run-heavy offense in the first half, you might struggle to get some points as defenses are going to be all energized. But as they tire out, the linebackers are going to start missing some tackles. The defensive linemen are going to aren't going to be able to shed as quickly, and that's when you can take advantage of a tired defense, especially when you have an electric running back like Mikey Farley.
The reason the refs paused the play right there is because Woodberry has about 6 students on the field. It's like our Joy Boys, but they were on the field and not even the track, and the ref did not like that.
As Slocker sends it into the end zone, and that will be fair caught by Lucas Sanker, and Woodberry will start their drive at the 20-yard line.
This is a very big possession right here for Woodberry Forest if they want to keep it close, because you can already see the momentum like we've been talking about a lot. It's going right to St. Chris. And with this defense, how electric they've been so far this half, allowing 0 points defensively is very strong. Offense for Woodberry has driven the ball once on us, and that was the very first drive of the game before stalling out. So this defense is looking promising for St. Chris. Hopefully they can keep it up.
Yeah, can't have a quick 3-and-out, a turnover here if you're Woodberry. All the momentum already going in the Saints' favor. You can't let this get any further, as they're going to drop back to pass, and that's going to be incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Jack Hall off the hands of 2 Woodberry receivers.
I couldn't tell you which one the quarterback was trying to throw that to, because they're in about the same 5-yard radius, and if number 11, Dazier Carter, didn't miss that catch, it might have been caught by the other wide receiver. You don't know, but that was
I don't think that was intended for Carter.
It was a little odd type of route combo right there.
I mean, it looked high. He had to jump up to get it. I don't think that was intended for him, but who knows. But 2nd and 10 now is also Woodberry's lucky that the second receiver got a hand on it, or else it could have been intercepted, as that comeback route to Carter is going to be complete. He breaks a tackle, slips another tackle, and he's going to be forced out of bounds by Addison Gosselin up around the 42.
Misses one big catch earlier in this game and makes it up right there with about a 10-yard out on Jack Hall, breaking that tackle and not allowing Turley to take him down with a juke move before being forced out, like you said. But they need him to have a big second half if they want to win this game. You can't just rely on Savion Hyder this whole game.
Yeah. Hyder's definitely their main threat, but Carter's still a 4-star for a reason. They need him to start having a better game, as they're going to swing it out right. Pass is complete, and this is going to be a big gain for Woodberry. Jacob Zoller misses the tackle. Flags fly. Still fighting as Jaden Ferguson takes it inside the 35, but flags are down. This might be coming back.
I think it was holding on the wide receiver right there, but it didn't look like he needed to hold him. He could have got the first down no matter what, but it is going to be holding and going back for Woodberry.
Killer for Woodberry, as a massive gain is
turns into a negative play.
Yeah.
So you just needed a first down. You didn't need that extra 30 yards. That the reason he got that 30 yards was because of the holding penalty. But they could have just got a first down to keep the chains moving, but instead they're going to go back, and it'll be about a first and 15 coming up.
Yeah, really poor decision-making there by Woodberry, but at the same time, the Saints need to be more conservative in their tackling. You saw Jacob Zoller trying to punch the ball out from behind, and when you already have a big receiver, you should just be sure to wrap him up.
His legs.
Yeah.
Make those stop turning.
As they're going to hand it off to Hyder. He's going to have a short gain, maybe 3 or 4 yards on that carry.
Tackled by Addison and Henry Omohundro right there. That's a duo you don't want to be tackled by right there. That's scary, seeing both of those guys come at you.
Yeah, Addison Gosselin hit so hard.
It's scary. We already saw one big hit earlier this game by him to force a punt for Woodberry. So 2nd and 10 now for Woodberry. Phillips' pass over the middle is incomplete. That's a dangerous ball there. That was very high. If Sonny saw that coming higher, he could have intercepted that and taken that all the way back to the touchdown. There was no one on that side, but instead they just sandwiched the wide receiver and didn't allow him to get the catch. Yeah, Sonny made the choice to go for the aggressive play on the man, but if he had been more conservative there and waited to see where the ball was going, it's probably 21-7 right now. But 3rd and 10 coming for, as Coach Van Arsdale wants a false start there. Is timeout taken by St. Christopher's, or excuse me, by Woodberry. Woodberry coaching staff knows this is a very big play coming up. You don't want to give the ball back to St. Chris, who's been just running down their throat all the past 2 drives. So it's very, very big play for Woodberry Forest, even though there's still a bunch of time left with 18 minutes left in the game. But this is a play we may look back on later in the game. I mean, something to consider is with how the Saints are running their offense, 18 minutes isn't that long. No. I mean, their last 2 drives have both lasted about 5 minutes. Yeah, I think it was been a total of 10 minutes. It was 6 and then 4 past 2 drives. So it's very, very promising for St. Chris if they get a stop here and keep running it down their throat. Yeah, so if the Saints' next 2 drives each take 6 minutes, that means Woodberry probably only gets 2 more chances with the ball after this. So what I'm very surprised is how much Woodberry's still passing the ball. You got a backup quarterback in there and one of the best running backs in the country on your team, and you're not giving him the ball almost every play. Where St. Chris, their better playmakers are on that wide receiver. We're still running the ball almost every play. So 3rd and 10 now. Hyder in motion. Phillips Blair swings it out to him, and Henry Omohundro breaks it up. That was a great play by Henry Omohundro, the UVA commit that we said before. But if he doesn't get a hand on that, I think they get a first down right there. He had Hyder had 1 man to beat, and that was EJ that he had to beat. But EJ can make that tackle, but it's hard to tackle such a good player in an open space like that. So great play by Henry Omohundro to force a punt where Jacob will go all the way back to about his 15-yard line.
Incredible play by Omohundro there as Jacob Zoller back there to return the upcoming kick from Lucas Osada. If you're St. Christopher's, you're probably just hoping this lands in the end zone.
I want to see if Jacob can...
This high snap. Ball's free as he's going to take off. And he will be
first down.
Let's see where they spot it. And wow, Woodberry Forest, off what looked like a disastrous play, somehow comes away with a first down.
You know what that looked like? A Pat McAfee play. An old Colts punter. He's done that plenty of times in his life. And like Pat McAfee does, he tries to lower his shoulder into a defensive back. And luckily it worked out for them. I thought he was going to try to re-punt that after he gathered it, faked it, and just ran as far as possible before he laid the boom at the sideline on, don't know who it was, but one of our safeties.
Yeah, so miraculous conversion from Woodberry gives them new life.
Needed.
Yeah. I mean, they needed something to just get the momentum back in their favor, and that definitely could have done it. Flags fly.
It looks like it'll be delay a game. The clock is at 0.
Yeah.
That's what it will be. With such a big play, and then you getting this call for Woodberry Forest, that is such a blow in the stomach. Because my expectation was they were going to take a big shot right there, having a big momentum swing, and just go deep right there, try to keep the momentum. But now it's a different play call.
I guess it probably came in from the fact that they had to get their offense back on the field after switching off the special teams. Yeah. So 1st and 15 now for Woodberry.
They do pass it.
So that pass going deep.
Way too long.
And incomplete, overthrown. Dysere Carter was the target. Deacon Begley was in coverage.
Deacon forced him in the inside right there, and Carter had a step on him. If the quarterback leads him more to the middle and not just straight up the field, I think he catches that and possibly take it to the end zone. If it's a better thrown ball, that's most likely a touchdown.
Yeah. Really poor ball there from Phillips Blair.
It's a backup.
Yeah, backup freshman. I mean, it's not his fault, but I'm very surprised that we haven't seen Woodberry try to go to the ground more. You have a 5-star running back.
Watch a quick toss out to the right, possibly.
As they're just going to go up the middle, and Hyder has some space, and he will be just short of the line to gain. So a 3rd and 2 coming up.
That was a very impressive run. It looked like he was being tackled in the backfield, broke it out to the right, and got a gain of about 10 yards before he stepped out of bounds to make it a 1st and 15, or a 2nd and 15 to a 3rd and about 5. Or they were going to say 3rd and 3. Give him a little extra yards, it looked like. If you're Woodberry Forest, why not run it again? He's been getting your biggest plays. First play of the game, he got about 30 yards, and right there he just got you with 15 yards on a 2nd down and 15.
So 3rd and 4 coming up. Saints loading the box. They're going to fake the pitch. Carter is going to be, I think he's short.
He's short, but don't be surprised if they go for it.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they don't go for it. This is either a 1st down or it's 4th and inches.
Yeah, it's definitely 4th and inches, the refs are saying, but I feel like most teams now, college, NFL, even high school, should have a play where the quarterback's under center, you get pushed from behind after watching Philadelphia Eagles getting successful almost every play. But
you don't
know if Woodberry Forest has that in their arsenal, but you're most likely running it on 4th and inches.
As a New York Giants fan, when they tried to run that, it ended up in our all-pro left tackle getting hurt and a turnover on down. So I don't know how confident high school teams should be with it, but 4th and 1, handoff to Hyder. He's going to be blown up in the backfield. Captain World gets in there, and the Saints force a turnover on downs.
The first person in there, number 15, the sophomore Walker Turley. First in there to make him a jump cut, change directions, and then, like you said, Captain World in there to finish off the play. A backup in there for Gavin, who got hurt yesterday in practice.
Biggest play of the game from the St. Christopher's defense as the momentum completely back in the Saints' favor here as they take over on the 44.
Now, if you're St. Chris, I would take a shot right here. You've been
Yeah.
running the game all play. Make a play action, go deep. You got the momentum, as you can hear in the stands. If you get a big play right here, it's going to be a shot into Woodberry's chest, and it's not going to feel good if you're them.
I don't see Jacob Zoller on the field, so if they're taking a shot, look for number 10, Bryce Neely, who's lined up at the top of your screen. But Nash will keep it. Khalil Nash bounces it outside. He has some space. He will be out after a gain of about 5. Didn't want to risk taking a hit. Smart play there from the senior quarterback.
There's a flag down there. It looks like he'll be holding on one of the offensive linemen on the right side. Don't know who it is exactly right now. So it goes from a first and 10 after a big play to first and about,
I believe first and 20.
19-ish, 20, because it's spot a foul. So it's a very big blow to that. Is just like what Woodberry Forest had earlier this possession. They get a big stop, big play, and then they have to go backwards. St. Chris loves this 2 running back look. They've been running it almost all day today. Now they hand it off to Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob Zoller has it, and Jacob Zoller has some space. Zoller down the sideline, inside the 35.
We haven't seen him in the backfield all day.
Yeah, very surprising. The Saints have not gotten him the ball very much on offense, but, I mean, you see what happens right there. When he does have the ball in his hands, he's electric.
He's one of the most electric players I've seen in a while at St. Chris. We have had Dre, but that dude's a playmaker in the air. Yeah. Jacob Zoller is a playmaker on the ground.
Yeah, I think of all the players I've watched at St. Chris, Jacob Zoller might be the hardest to tackle in the open field.
Very shifty, very quick, but they give it look fake.
Nash keeps it this time. He goes up the middle for about 5 yards.
I like putting Jacob Zoller at running back because we have 2 power running backs kind of with Farley and Tino's, but with Jacob Zoller, we can go east and west a little bit more with his speed and shiftiness.
Yeah.
It's a good combo 1-2 punch that we have back there right now.
There's Nash. Little bubble screen out for Lupica. Very dangerous balls. It looked like that was going to be intercepted out of the hand, but Isaac does a really nice job to readjust his position, jump the route, and converts the first down.
Yeah, like you said, Khalil threw that a little bit too much into the middle of the field or ahead of Isaac, and he had to adjust to it, run to the ball. Isaac was expecting more of a bubble pass, and it was more of a under screen that Khalil was throwing.
Yeah. As Nash takes the snap from about the 23, gives it to Jacob Zoller. He has some space. Jacob Zoller going to be, I believe he'll be just short of the line to gain.
It was just short. You don't see Jacob Zoller lowering his shoulder that much, but right there he lowered his shoulder into the safety and ran him over to fall for an extra 2 yards. Normally you see him juking and making guys miss, not running through them to make them miss.
So we haven't seen Khalil throw the ball. Oh, excuse me, no, he threw it 2 plays ago.
But not downfield, which I think is his best strength, is throwing the ball past 30 yards with his crazy arm strength he has.
So trips right here. Look for maybe a fade up there, as they're going to give it to Farley. He tries to bounce it outside. Mikey Farley is going to be,
They say down.
Let's see where they spot it. Looks like he's short.
It's a 2nd and inches, and you go east and west. I don't like that play call. You have to go north and south, especially with Farley, who, once he gets his shoulders square, it's hard to tackle him.
In my opinion, 2nd and inches is the perfect time to take a shot to the end zone.
Especially inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
Do a quick fade to, I would think, Bryce Neely, who has one of the best hops on the team in hands. Just throw a little fade up to him.
They do give Farley the first down, so.
Maybe here's the shot.
Yeah. 1st and 10 from the 13. Khalil Nash takes off. Nash going to be inside the 5 as he hurdles a man.
I do not like seeing our quarterback take those type of hits. I know he's trying to make the big play and get into the end zone, but trying to hurdle a guy inside the red zone where kids are just plowing into you is very scary to see. You don't want your star quarterback getting hurt, especially in a big game like this where you need his leadership. 2 years on varsity and have been in these spots before, especially with Freeman last year, down 14 in the 4th quarter.
That game, they're on 14-0 with 5 minutes left in the game. And they came back to win 20-14 in overtime as Nash gives it. Cavadas up the middle. Touchdown, Saints.
Once again, run up the middle. basically walked into the end zone, and you hear the crowd going crazy.
And all the momentum now going with the Saints. They put up 20 unanswered in the last 11 minutes of this game. And Woodberry needs a response soon.
They do, but it's fitting having both of our star running backs scoring touchdowns today, especially with the workhorse they have been putting in. Both succeeding well on the runs with the amount of carries they're getting. You know how tired they are, and they always want to be in the end zone.
Slocker's extra point is blocked.
That was very, very, very unorganized. Looked like Slocker was rushed, but it's a new long snapper in there for our extra points. Harrison Fuller's in there instead of Henry Alejandro. So Jaden Brown's still the holder.
So 20-7 now for St. Christopher's after the blocked extra point.
We got to remember that blocked extra point if Woodberry scores another touchdown, because with their kicker, they're not missing any field goals, most likely, unless we block it. So it's a very weird score now, because they can kick 2 field goals and a touchdown to tie, or they can get 2 touchdowns and win it.
Yeah.
So missing that field goal is a very, very big deal.
If the Saints get in the end zone again, you might look for them to go for 2 to try to make it a 14-point game. As then
And that's if Woodberry Forest scores, of course.
Yeah. If they make it 20, if they get it to 26-7, I don't think they'll do that. But if Woodberry scores and then St. Chris gets the ball back in a 1-possession game, then I think you definitely would go for 2 in the event you score. So hand off to Hyder. He's going to have a very short game. The Saints have done so well keeping him in check, as 5-star running back has not been able to break away. He had that one big 32-yard carry, but other than that,
he's about 70 yards rushing today.
Yeah.
Which normally is a good amount of running yards, but for a 5-star like he is.
Especially when he's gotten most of his yardage off one big carry, as they're going to hand it to him here, nearly wrapped up in the backfield. And there's that explosiveness we were talking about. He's still up inside the 45.
That was a crazy run. Should have been tackled for about a loss of 3. Spins out of that, breaks another tackle, and keeps turning his legs, dragging 2 St. Chris guys for an extra 5 yards.
I'm not sure who got in there. I think it might have been Bo Stocks who had a chance to bring him down for a loss, but just
I think it was Pendlebury, actually. Yeah, it was Drew Pendlebury back there first and missed the tackle. But if for our St. Chris defense, for Woodberry Forest offense that put up 38 points last week, and you haven't allowed a single point defensively, is a very good sight you like to see, as Pendlebury's back
Blair
there
rolls out, complete to Carter for a short gain.
Good tackle right there by Deacon Begley, coming up off of his man once he sees that ball thrown to help out EJ with that tackle.
And that will do it for your third quarter. Saints get 2 touchdowns, 1 from each running back on the ground, and they now lead 20-7. We'll be back for the fourth quarter. So fourth quarter now, 20-7 is your lead for St. Christopher's. Woodberry not panicking yet, but they need big plays to start coming. Is that pitch going to be a gain of about 4 yards, and 3rd and short upcoming now.
I think if you're Woodberry Forest, this is 4th down territory almost every play.
Has to be.
Has to be with how much our offense has been taking off the clock. About 4 minutes per drive is ridiculous unless your defense can come up with a miracle stop that they haven't been able to do for the past 3 drives.
Yeah, or as long as it's a 2-possession game, I don't think Woodberry can punt the ball away. So 3rd and 4.
3rd and 2.
Hand off to Hyder. He's short. E.J. Seward with the huge tackle. And it's going to bring up a 4th down now. And last time they went with a run up the middle, Captain Whirl and Walker Turley blew it up. And this could be the game for Woodberry.
It could be, but you see Woodberry Forest making subs in, and they bring in a lot bigger players for a jumbo package. Yeah. So expect another run.
I think everyone in the stadium knows number 5 is getting the ball here.
And you have big number 45 for Woodberry Forest back there. Is it 45? We don't have a 45.
4th and 2. Hand off to Hyder. The ball's out, and it's recovered by the Saints. Captain Whirl comes up with a big play once again, and the Saints defense forces another turnover on 4th down.
A miscommunication right there from the quarterback and running back for Woodberry Forest. And Captain Whirl, right spot, right time, having one heck of a game for subbing in for Gavin. This is what you like to see from the next man up.
Yeah, next man up mentality is Captain Whirl didn't know he would be starting until yesterday, and then he's made the 2 biggest plays of the game. As the Saints now just 1 good drive away from this game being over.
I don't even think you need to score this drive.
Yeah, just burn. If you can burn,
if you can get 1 first down, it's
that might be pushing it. But if you can burn 6 minutes off this clock, the game's over. Most likely is they're gonna pitch it to Bryce Neely. Flags fly. He will have a gain of about 3 yards.
With them not stopping and the ref throwing it right away, I'm expecting in the neutral zone.
Maybe an illegal procedure.
It looked like it was thrown right away, but it is going to be a false start. Normally you stop the play right before it even happens if it's a false start.
So also a holding on the Saints. So
there's 2 flags right there. Illegal formation and holding. Woodberry Forest will be taking the holding penalty due to it being 10 yards instead of 5 yards. So now it's a 1st and 20.
Yeah, we saw this last drive for the Saints. They had a 1st and 20 after a hold on their first play. But, I mean, maybe this is when you take a shot.
I don't know if you want to take a shot here because you want to waste as much time as possible.
That's true.
If you take a 50-50 shot and don't succeed on it, throw a pick or just stopping the clock is all in Woodberry
That's a fair
Forest.
point. I'm very surprised Jacob Zoller isn't on the field here. In a short yardage situation, I understand why Farley would be in, but in a 1st and 15, I think you'd want Zoller in there as timeout taken.
It's an official timeout.
The
Coach wants some explanation, it looks like. And he got it. It looks like it was a holding by a wide receiver about 5 yards up, so it was about the same distance either way if you took either penalty.
Yeah, so someone jumped. I think Woodberry was first.
I think so, too. They do call offside, so we go back to where we were.
Yep.
It's going to be 1st and 10, and because of all this, we've already wasted about 7 seconds because of the first play, and we have not moved or done anything, really.
So
trips at the top of your screen. Stu, Isaac, and Bryce Neely.
Very surprised Zoller isn't on the field here.
I seen him holding his wrist a little bit
That's
after
true.
that one big carry where he lowered his shoulder. It's nothing too serious, but probably just a little sting. And
Yeah.
You want him more on the defense than the offensive side, so you don't want him to get injured here.
As Nash hands to Farley, that's going to be blown up in the backfield. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
It was right when he got the ball, there was a guy bear hugging him.
Yeah. But also to your point about Jacob, You really don't want someone who's nursing a bad wrist to be carrying the ball in a situation like this where your goal is to try to milk as much clock as possible.
Yeah.
Because that seems like a pretty good way to lead to a fumble.
Exactly, and him coming off a broken wrist last year in about this time of a game. So he's maybe having some trauma about that. But like you said, you don't want to lose the possession in which
As
they
Nash
fumble it.
can't come up with the snap, falls on it. So
I think you take a shot right here. Because if you run the ball, the odds of you getting a first down is not much.
that's true, but you also want to keep the clock running.
At this point in the game, an extra 20 seconds isn't going to add that much compared to if you get a first down and then get to run more clock.
True.
Christian, I think, can pin them inside the 15-yard line or 20-yard line from here.
So Zoller is back out on the field. Looks like he's going to be lined up in the slot.
Expect Khalil Nash to roll out to his left, most likely. They do that a lot.
He does. No, he gives it to Farley on the misdirection. Mikey Farley going to have about 2 yards. And the clock will continue to run. So the Saints are going to be snapping this at about the 8-minute mark of this game.
Though we have not seen that play a lot. Like I was expecting him to roll out to the left. It looked like he did, but it was a counter play to the backside. Looked like he had a big hole, but Woodberry Forest read that perfectly.
So this is do or die for Woodberry. You have to get points here.
I'm surprised that we don't see number 5 for Woodberry Forest, Savion Hyder out there. To
low
return
snap. Rogers gets it off. It'll be fair caught around the 26-yard line. But if you're Woodberry, you don't just need points. You need a touchdown.
Yeah, totally. And you need it quick.
Yeah.
You can't take a long drive like St. Chris has done. You need pass plays. I don't expect Hyder to get that ball much in a running game.
Yeah, maybe some screen passes or slants.
Downs, correct.
Yeah.
I would get him in the slot. See, he's such a talented athlete. Like, you know he can run some routes.
Yeah.
At least like crossing routes.
If you're a 5-star running back, you have to at least have, you either have to be a complete tank or you have to have some ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. So.
Some way. But you also have number 11, Nazir Carter.
He's lined up at the top of your screen with Jack Hall.
They're double teaming him.
They're going to
looking
for him. They go deep, one-on-one coverage, and the pass is incomplete. Great coverage from Jack Hall, and Carter is furious that there's no flag down.
That was perfect defense by Jack Hall. He forced him to the sideline, thinning the field where the quarterback has to make a perfect throw towards the sideline, and quarterback leads him too much to the middle, and Jack Hall didn't have to do much there. Instead of just run with him, because if the wide receiver catches that ball, it has to be offensive pass interference to go through Jack Hall to get that.
I mean, when you have a backup freshman quarterback in the game, like if he can throw a perfect 40-yard ball down the sideline, you let him do that to you. But chances are he's not going to be making that throw. So beautiful coverage from Hall. Carter now lined up the bottom of your screen. So they're going to drop back again. They're going to go up for Carter again. That ball's floating and incomplete through his hands. That's the second shocking drop of the game from him.
That was a hard catch. He had to dive for that. It wasn't a tight spiral either. It looked like a duck flying in the air. So he had to. If a quarterback throws him a little better ball, more on the rope, he's open. He was open right away.
Yeah.
Sonny Bridges did not see him open, but a little odd to see Jacob out. Jacob out on that play. They brought in Jaden Brown for one play to give Jacob some rest. But in this type of scenario, you don't want your best defensive back out.
Yeah. So 3rd and 10 now. As you see Zoller over there in the middle of the field, he's probably going to be shading that matchup with Deacon Begley lined up across from Carter. As Blair is going to have a completion over the middle, and this is going to be a big gain for the Tigers up inside the 40-yard line. It's Will Leahy.
That was on Jack Hall. He ran a slant. Jack Hall all year, he protects the deep ball very well, which is good. But with doing that, you allow the slants and the crossers to be open. And when you want that to happen, you want your linebackers there to be able to stop it for a 5-yard gains, and that time none of the linebackers are in the middle of the field.
So now Woodberry has it at around the 38-yard line. 7:30 left to go in this game.
They've got about 30 yards in 30 seconds, which is very good.
Yeah.
So very positive for them if you need
Phillips Blair gives it to Hyder. That's going to be blown up by Omohundro. as he stayed on his feet. The refs didn't blow it dead, but Omohundro somehow stuck with him.
First person back there was Walker Turley once again. He's been firing through the hole somehow, almost on every other run play, just almost being able to get that handoff from the quarterback and meets the running back in the backfield, which stops his momentum and makes him have to make a cut right away.
He's a little bit undersized for a linebacker, but that helps him slip through those gaps as he can fit through those tighter spaces. So 2nd and 10 now. Blair's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's Omohundro again. And the Saints defense coming up huge here after the big gain.
Henry Omohundro with that sack, but I want to credit McGuire Boyd. He was getting blocked, but pushed his offensive lineman right into the quarterback's legs, and for him to not to be able to throw that, and then Henry Omohundro came from behind and just racked him back, drove him into the ground.
So 3rd and 16 now for the Tigers.
2 plays to get 16 yards. Last 3rd down play, they got 20 yards, so it's still very doable, but as you can hear the St. Chris sideline getting very loud.
Phillips Blair drops back over the middle, has a man, and it's complete. Breaks a tackle, and that is going to be a big gain for Woodberry, and that will be a touchdown for Jaden Ferguson. So exactly what Woodberry needed there.
That was a very good look from the quarterback. He looked like he was looking at the wide receiver on the outside. I believe that was Carter running a wheel route. They did a scissor mesh and looking for Carter on the sideline, but no one picked up number 13 through the middle, and he made 3 guys run into each other for St. Chris to get the touchdown.
So this is when that missed extra point by Slocker really comes back to hurt the Saints. As if this extra point's good, and then you'd only have a 6-point lead, meaning a touchdown and a converted extra point would beat you.
Very lucky for Woodberry Forest that the game clock was not running for some reason. Their holder wasn't out there for the extra point, and it gave them about 10 extra seconds, and they didn't get those 10 extra seconds. This snap would not be off.
Osada's kick is up and good.
And into the backyard of someone's house.
Not sure he needed to go that powerful, but, you know, if you have that good of a leg, why not show it off?
But like we said, that extra point is very scary now. So right here, if you're St. Chris, even a field goal puts this game into a 2-point, 2-point score game. So just try to get points in any way, shape, or form if you're the coaching staff of St. Chris, because if you get turnover on downs or 3-and-out, very bright spot for Woodberry Forest to just drive down there, kick it, get a touchdown and an extra point to win the game. And we've seen the passing attack for St. Chris has not been very strong, so if they need to throw the ball to catch up, if they're down by 1 point with about 1 minute left, it's going to be very scary.
Yeah. Something to note, St. Chris have all 3 timeouts. Woodberry already spent 1, so they're only at 2 remaining. So that's an extra 40 seconds the Saints would hopefully be able to burn off the clock at a late game situation. And hopefully they just manage the clock well, don't try to do anything crazy.
St. Chris is set up for an onside kick.
And they do send it deep, as they probably went with the onside formation, knowing that if Osada did kick it deep, it's going to be in the end zone.
That was out of the end zone when it landed. Like, that's crazy to see. I've never seen a kicker this talented in high school ever.
I think he was about maybe 3 yards away from putting it through the uprights.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. You don't even see that that often in the NFL.
Yeah.
You see that in the video game sometimes.
Yeah. So, biggest drive of the game coming up, 20-14, 5:51 to go in this ball game. And St. Christopher's have struggled throwing the ball. The running game has been very strong, and they just need to milk the clock, be smart with the possession.
Like you said, the biggest drive of the game. I think it's the biggest drive of the year so far for them.
As the ball is out, they muff the handoff, and who is on it? And Woodberry Forest comes up with it.
That is crazy. And you can see the sideline of Woodberry going crazy with their student section right behind them. And the momentum of every single person on the St. Chris sideline is just gone, wow.
Saints defense now, impossible task coming up for them. Woodberry starting in the red zone. Down 6, 5:45 to go in what's nearly a must-win game for them.
If
they
you're St. Chris and you fumbled the ball there rather than any other time, I think it's better because they have to. You only get 17 yards in 5 minutes. So if they score touchdowns pretty quick, and you have about 3 minutes to get your own touchdown or field goal back to win the game.
St. Christopher's defense came up with so many big turnovers tonight. They need one more stand to potentially put up a season-defining victory here in a massive game against Woodberry, as Woodberry will take another timeout.
The Woodberry Forest head coach is very, very mad at his offense. He's slamming the ground right now. He does not want to call a timeout right there, especially down. You don't want to go down to one timeout with about 6 minutes left in the game, down by 6, even though you have the ball.
Also something to note, no 2-minute warning in high school football. So Woodberry, if St. Chris gets the ball back, Woodberry could only stop the clock once.
And that's stopping the ball once is a big deal, but not that much.
Yeah.
It's not doing that much of a difference.
So that would mean if the Saints could get the ball back with a minute 20, the game would be over.
Yeah, but if you get the ball back with two minutes left and get one first down, game's over.
Even 3 minutes, if it takes you 3 downs to get, if you convert on a third down, then the game's over. So only having that one timeout is not what you want to see if you are the Tigers, but for them, they're just trying to make it not matter and make that the Saints are going to be the ones wanting to conserve the clock.
If you're Woodberry Forest, you want to start milking the clock and just give it to your 5-star running back.
As
they fake
play action, checks down, has it complete. That was Joseph Bluden.
And tackled by EJ right there. Timed that perfectly right when he caught it. He was getting wrapped up. Good play right there from EJ. You could hear the crowd go, ooh. Thought it was a big hit.
Yeah. As you see over on the, or I guess it'd be out of the frame, but Jack Locker is going to warm up right now. There's a solid possibility that the game comes down to a kick from him, as they're going to hand it to Hyder. He is going to be
swarmed.
I think he's short.
Third down.
So
third down in about inches, though. So.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Last time Woodberry had a third and inches.
Stopped by.
Yeah, they got stopped, and then they turned it over on downs. So.
And both of those stops was by Captain World.
Yep.
He's in there right now.
If you're Woodberry here and you don't, and let's say you lose 3 yards, would you kick a field goal?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
You have one timeout left.
So they go under center to Julius Davis. They send the tight end out under center, and let's see where they spot it. I think he has a first down, but I'm not entirely sure, as the clock shouldn't be running right now.
The clock is running for some reason, but
precious seconds.
The old-fashioned brotherly shove.
As officials are taking a timeout to measure this.
I think they're talking it over. Yep.
Let's see. And we're waiting for the signal. I think that was a Woodberry first down.
It should be. It is. And that is a very big play. They didn't get much yards, but they got a first down to milk even more.
So it is first and goal now, which is something to note, as at most Woodberry, so at the worst case scenario, St. Chris will be getting the ball back with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
And St. Chris goes in with their 5 down linemen and only one safety back there with Jacob Zoller taking Sonny Bridges off.
If I had to guess, Hyder's going to be getting 4 shots at this, and they'll just take their chances with their 5-star halfback.
They've been throw happy, though.
They have been. That's true.
Especially towards Jack Hall's side, where Carter's not
as
there.
They're going to send it out. Jacob Zoller can't make the tackle. Gosselin misses. Omohundro
down
makes
at the 1. It's Addison and Henry Omohundro right there.
I don't like making that play. In my opinion, you let him score there.
St. Chris does call a timeout right here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. In my opinion, they're they're inches away. I think you just let them score.
I would too.
Yeah.
But as a player in that moment, you don't want them to. So
obviously, looking back on it, hindsight is 20/20. But in the heat of the moment, you do understand why Omohundro does make that tackle. And who knows? Maybe you pop the ball free.
Or they false start, which they have done
true.
today.
Or a hold.
You also want as much time as possible to drive down there to get a field goal.
Yeah.
So interesting play calls coming up if your defense is Coach Toon telling them to let them score a touchdown. And if he is Woodberry Forrest taking a knee here? Or
that's risky. You can't do that.
You can't do that?
You can't do
you
that.
want to get a touchdown?
You have to just score.
If I was Woodberry Forrest, I would take a knee right here.
They've already been.
I think you have 2 plays to get a touchdown.
They've already been stopped on twice on 3rd and inches, and then they've turned it over on 4th. You can't do that. Game's on the line. You just take your points. Saints haven't been able to run a quick offense. They're not going. Saints won't be able to just run the ball. So, as they're going to take the snap to the tight end under center.
It does not look like he got that.
He is short. So, 3rd and goal coming up, as I think that was a loss of yardage. Saints do take another timeout, as the refs don't see them calling for a timeout. But
And I feel like they should get some time back.
yeah.
We do have one of the officials in the booth with us, but he can't say much to them down on the field.
So 3rd and goal now.
And it looked like they lost a yardage. Where they spotted it, they lost a yardage. They went
did
from the
lose.
1 to 2 yard line.
So
it's basically taking a knee.
yeah, I mean we've seen this situation twice before. One of the 3rd and 2, and both times the St. Christopher's defense has came out with a turnover after stopping them on 3rd. They get them to 4th. One time they slammed Hyder in the backfield. The other time, poor handoff. But the game comes down to this.
You got 2 plays to get 2 yards if you're Woodberry Forest.
Yeah.
And I see Jack Slocker on the sideline warming up because he knows this game's going to come down to him, especially missing an extra point earlier in this game. He has to make himself up.
So 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line.
Quarterback under center.
Play action. It is complete. Woodberry takes the lead with 3:24 left in this game.
That's a great play design right there.
So the Saints do get some time back after the clock error, but
Going for an all-out
extra
blitz.
point. Oh, nearly blocked, but it's good anyway. Zoller got in there.
It was going to be on offsides by Zoller anyway. He's trying to time this snap.
Yeah, I mean,
They're going to decline the penalty.
it's the correct play. I mean, chances are he's not going to miss.
And they blew the whistle before the kick, the field goal. So if I was Jacob Zoller, I'm timing this thing again.
Yeah, I mean,
You
why
leave this
not?
block.
I mean,
And-
just keep trying to time it and make him kick it as many times as you need until you get it right.
And if you're Jacob Zoller, if I was him, I'd be running more horizontal.
Yeah,
to
we
the ball,
saw
high
who was
storage.
it was New
Patriots.
England. Yeah, New England ran a play like that where they had their guy start near the sideline
Numbers.
and run in horizontally and then come in and make the block. So I mean, if you're Jacob Zoller, do that 100 more times.
Yeah,
and
I would-
until you get
I
it.
would line up more on the outside
Yes.
to get a running start.
As he did not get it,
He
and
slid.
it is
Does
up.
He miss? He missed
It's
it.
no good.
It's no good.
It's no good. And shocking here, as when the Saints thought that they'd be going down a point that's the 2nd time today we've seen Osada slip on a kick, and the North Carolina commit can't nail the kick that would have given them a 1-point lead with 3:21.
I put that back to Jacob Zoller. I think he scared the kicker
Yeah.
because he went in there first time and almost nailed the kicker. And the second time, it looked like he was about to time it, and the kicker slips and falls and doesn't get enough turn on the kick and pushes it to the right of the post. So now, right here, you win this game, but you don't lose most likely if you just
Do
run the
not
clock
give
down.
Woodberry the ball back.
Exactly.
They can only stop the clock once. If you lose 10 yards, just
Just keep running the ball. And you don't want to give them because that kicker, he can kick a 50-yard
he could-
field goal. So you don't want to give them much yardage. You want to waste as much clock. And I would run this ball. Play your normal offense
Yeah.
until
If
under
you-
a minute.
I'd give the ball to Zoller. He's their big play guy. if he can break a 30-yard run, then you start being more aggressive. But if you have if you maybe gain 2 yards on the first 2 plays, just run the ball. Don't try to do anything absurd, and don't want to give Woodberry the ball with how good we know their kicker is.
I also wouldn't be passing it the first 2 plays of this drive.
I agree.
I'd run it until you have to pass it on a 3rd down.
So Osada doesn't slip that time.
St. Chris does have really old turf. It's playing lacrosse on it, it's very hard to cut and plant your feet.
That's true.
So, like, for a kicker that plants his feet hard and gets so much power into it, he is slipping. Slipped earlier on a kickoff and right there on a field goal. So he needs to adjust to it, because if he's planting too hard and slipping, you don't need that much power with such a big leg he has.
This has the potential to be the best game I've ever watched at Knowles Field. There's 3:21 left in this game. Khalil Nash gonna lead out the Saints offense, and 2 minutes ago they thought they would be needing points. They thought they'd be down 1, but the North Carolina commit, Lucas Osada, shanks the extra point, and Khalil Nash and this Saints offense now have a chance to pull off a miraculous ending in a game they really need to win.
I want to highlight that St. Chris has 1 timeout, but what's more highlighting is they've been running a 2-man running backfield all day. Now they're
give it to
back
Farley. He's short gain.
Which St. Chris right here, you don't need to rush anything. Just run your normal offense.
Yeah.
Don't run your normal offense until about the 130 mark.
Yeah, if you can break off a big run, awesome. But what you don't want to do is give Woodberry the ball back here with 2:30, and then they have a great chance to win the game.
I'm very surprised that Henry Omohundra is not in the game
He gives it to Farley. Michael Farley has a first down.
That's what we talked about. Just keep running the ball until it's a 3rd and where you have to throw the ball, 3rd and 5, 3rd and more than that.
So if you are Coach Glenn, where's your target line for when you can say, okay, that is where I want Jack Slocker kicking from?
I'd say you have to get inside the 25.
25? So that'd be a 42-yarder, as Farley going to be dropped for a huge loss.
He hit a 43-yarder against Benedictine. So I would say if you get in the 25 with this pressure on, I feel like Jack Slocker can kick it. They've already had a mishandle, mistiming earlier today. So 25 is what I'd be aiming for if I'm the offense.
So the clock is going to run. Interesting that Woodberry does not take a timeout here. You have to imagine they probably do if they force a stop on 2nd down.
If they force a punt, that's when you call the timeout. You don't call it until the other team has to punt the ball.
It's now Nash out for Zoller. That's complete. Stays in bounds. That's huge.
That was very odd. It looked like he was floating in the air when he hurdled that guy. Very athletic play from Jacob Zoller.
So
that's the guy you want with the balls in this time.
So the clock is going to run down now to about 1:20. So
do you run or pass the ball right here?
You run the ball.
Do you run it 3rd and 7? Though?
You either run the ball or like run a screen or something to Zoller. You need Woodberry to take that final timeout.
I'd run the fake screen.
As Nash is going to keep it. Khalil Nash
stays
on his feet. He has a first down and more. Khalil Nash inside the 50. And we've seen that from him the last 2 years. He's just had a knack for those clutch plays. And when it looked like he was going to be swallowed up in the backfield, somehow creates a hole out of nowhere and takes it for a first down. Right. Leave it like Nash, low snap, gives it to Farley, runs a man over.
Runs through that guy right there. And right now, St. Chris has the momentum. Minute and 13 seconds left. Every first down stops the clock until the chains are placed under 2 minutes. So St. Chris they're going a little faster, but they're still running the ball.
15 yards is about all you need here. They need to hurry it up a little bit. They're under a minute.
Woodberry Forest calls the timeout. If I'm Woodberry Forest, I don't like this timeout. I would have called a timeout right before Jack Slocker's kicking that field goal.
Yeah.
ISIM, you see that all the time in college and pro level.
If
but you're wasting that timeout now.
If you're the Saints, in an ideal situation, you can save that timeout for getting that field goal team on the field.
That's what you have to do with one timeout. Like, I know you can run a spike, but in a high school level, that's so scary to do. You don't know how often they practice it during practice.
Especially, also, if it's a 4th down, you can't spike the ball.
Exactly.
So
it's very scary. I'd say you run the ball right here, and then after that, you start passing the ball.
I think you determine
You run the ball until you get a first down, and
Yeah,
then you start
because
passing the ball.
what can't happen here, you cannot get sacked. Obviously, you can't turn the ball over, and you can't have a holding. Those are the 3 things that would kill this drive.
And it gives Woodberry Forest an opportunity if you turn the ball over, because their kicker, if you get the ball to the 35 of Woodberry Forest, I believe that
the only way Woodberry gets the ball back is a turnover, because there's 58 seconds. Woodberry can't stop the clock. St. Chris still has 2 downs to play with. So even if they throw an incompletion here, that'd only be 10 seconds on the clock. So the only way Woodberry really gets the ball back is if St. Chris turns it over. He cannot do that here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to turn the ball over.
To the right, they got.
As Nash, play fake, goes deep, overthrown. He had a step on his man. Really nice ball from Khalil, and just 3 yards shorter, and the Saints win this game.
I don't like that play. I like that play if you get a first down. I don't like that play on
I agree.
Second and 4 when you're not in field goal range. You need to get this first down, or else I don't believe you're kicking a field goal.
Yeah,
so right here, you need to give it. I give it to Jacob on a jet sweep or something.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He's not on the right side for a sweep.
Nash going to take it up the middle. Khalil Nash, where do they spot him? I think he does have the first. Refs will convene.
The clock will stop right here.
And it will be a first down for the Saints. Huge carry from Khalil. And like we saw a couple plays ago, he just has a knack for finding holes out of nowhere. Saints have it now on the 35. They need about 10 yards to get in the field goal range for Jack Slocker. 38 seconds to go. Khalil Nash drops back, looking deep. Goes for Zoller.
Pass interference, you got to throw that flag. There's the flag from the official on the far side of the field. I don't know how that official's calling it, but the other one near the ball is not. That was 100% a pass interference. The quarterback drove down Jacob Zoller from behind.
Yeah, it's the right play. You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a touchdown if he doesn't. So.
But this is NCAA rules or high school rules, so it's only a 15-yard penalty compared to NFL. That's the spot of the foul.
Yeah.
So, yes, St. Chris is in field goal range now. It's still a far field goal.
Yeah, it's not a chip shot.
Especially for this type of game.
If they were to kick the ball from this spot, it would be tying Slocker's career long. So not an easy kick whatsoever.
I'm running this ball.
Run the ball 3 times.
I would give it to Henry Alejandro.
Yeah, he's not
going to fumble the ball. He's going to get you 4 yards almost every carry. I run the ball with Henry Alejandro, but they don't have it.
They give it to Farley. Farley up the middle has about 2. Or excuse me, I was wrong. They have the ball on the 21. So if they were to kick it from here, it would be 36, not 43. So
St. Chris does call their timeout right here. I don't like that play at all.
I really don't.
Because now you have to.
What do you do here?
You have to throw the ball.
I don't think you kick it. You can't kick a field goal here.
You're not kicking the field goal with this much time left.
I think you can get. Do they have the confidence? I think the question you have to be asking, do they have the confidence in their offense, in their offensive line, that they can run the ball and then get out there with about 20 seconds to take, because on second down here, also something to note is that
what I would say is you ask Jack Slocker, where do you want the ball?
Yeah.
And they're going to say the middle of the field. You're going to run but to the tackles, to the guards, left side handoff, try to get 2-3 yards. You're already telling your guys,
you have
get
to
ready
spike
for
it.
a spike.
You
running it, going straight to
you
a spike,
tell them
that's what
you have to tell them to go down, because if they get up to the 5, I don't know if they have time to spike it.
Yeah, no, so you run it
need to go down
towards the left side, get 5 yards, spike it, get Jack Slocker out there to win the game.
From the 21, flags fly, or official timeouts. Game stopped. Nightmare for the Saints here would be a false start. Cannot have that happen. Neither team has any timeouts left. I'm not sure what is going on here.
Now they.
Okay.
Clock won't start.
They're going to give it. Flag is down. This could have just cost the Saints the game if this is a holding.
It could. It's still in range for Jack Slocker. You still cook it. There's a false start. It's only 5 yards.
Okay, that's fine.
I get your kicking unit ready.
A holding, yeah, you have to.
It's before the play, so it's a redo second down. I'd pass the ball. Do a 5-yard out to the close side. Catch it. If you don't catch it, you're in a fine spot for Jack Slocker to kick it. We said the 25-yard line. That's exactly where the ball is.
So they're on the 24 right now. From here, it'd be 41. 2 yards short of Slocker's career long. This is a tough kick.
So I hit a yard. I'd hit an out, but they're gonna run.
Give it to Gavanis. He's going to have a couple yards.
Spike.
Clock is running. 20. They're at 18 seconds now. They need to get up to the line and spike this football. It is third down.
No, you want to waste as much time left, so if you miss it.
Ooh. So
That's
they get it off, 11.4. And this game comes down to the right leg of Jack Slocker. Just 5 minutes ago, when Woodberry scored that touchdown, we thought Slocker's missed extra point would have potentially been the difference between St. Christopher's winning and losing this game. But now, after a miraculous miss from Woodberry, Slocker is out there with a chance to win this game. He's hit the big kicks before. Last year against Freeman, with less than a minute on the clock, hit a game-tying extra point. And here, the right leg of Jack Slocker, one kick of the ball, decides the biggest game of the season for the Saints. Jack Slocker's kick, it's up, and it is no good. So we, in all likelihood, will be going to overtime.
6 seconds left, though. With the two very good athletes that Woodberry Forest has, you could do Miami, how they beat Duke, keep throwing it backwards until you get open.
You can't do that in a tie game. You can't do that.
You throw a Hail Mary, which I'm a West Virginia fan. I watched West Virginia Houston last night, and Houston won on a Hail Mary with 0 time left to win the game.
I don't know. I think
it is October the Friday the 13th. It's a scary day, so you don't know what's going to happen as a Saints fan.
I think you just kneel the ball if you're Woodberry. Don't risk anything. If you fumble the ball here, St. Chris, I don't know. I don't think they could have time to recover it and get another field goal attempt, but they could maybe recover to bring it back for a touchdown. Just either kneel it or I'd say stretch to Hyder. He's a 5-star for a reason. Maybe make something happen as they will drop back to throw. Pass going to be complete over the middle. They're going to lateral. Ball's free. Turley has it. Walker Turley.
Just go down if you want.
And Walker Turley down the sideline. Inside the 15. Fighting. Omohundro has it. It'll be brought down at the 5-yard line as a flag is going to fly for a face mask.
Hey.
So the Saints are going to have a chance to win this game on another field goal.
What the heck happened? I just told you.
What are you? You cannot do that if you're Woodberry. Horrible clock management. Could have just cost them this game. Just kneel the ball.
For Woodberry Forest though right now.
What are you doing? Horrible clock management. Indefensible play there. What are you doing? You cannot lateral the ball there. So the Saints will get an untimed down. Slocker.
This is times Jack to revenge himself. Yeah. It's a closer kick this time. You have to do the 15 yards from where the flag was, not where the ball ended. So they get 15 yards from the 25. You're at the 10-yard line for a field goal. And you're going to be on the right hash. You have to be able to succeed on this.
Earlier in the third quarter, he missed an extra point that left the score at 20-6. Woodberry since then put in 2 touchdowns, and it's 20-20. They're sending out a North Carolina commit with a chance to win the game, or not win the game, to give Woodberry the lead. And by some stroke of luck for the Saints, he missed. And Slocker got another chance from 41. Tough kick was the wide left, but now he has the chance to redeem himself.
It's about, they leave where the flag is, it's about the exact same distance he just missed from.
Would they not get 15 yards from where the flag was?
They should. They're moving it up right now.
Yeah.
Is it 15 yards or is it half the distance? Was it inside the 20-yard line?
Either way, it's not. It's a 2.5-yard difference.
Yeah.
So
right now he's at the 13-yard line.
30 yards for Jack Slocker to potentially ice this game. No time left on the clock. It's either this kick goes in or we're going to overtime. As the Saints, we talked about how this was a game they needed to win. They've had their chances, and Slocker missed from 41 just 11 seconds ago in game time. Woodberry somehow decides to try to go for a lateral, and they fumble the ball, a face mask penalty, which that penalty, as they're going to move the ball up now to the 5-yard line.
So what they did, I think, is they declined the penalty.
They declined the penalty, still get the on-time down. Yes, because Turley brought it inside the 5.
Yeah, no, Turley brought it at the 8.
And then
handed it off to
Hunter. That was wild.
And he started running in. So this could be a walk-off field goal for Jack Slocker at the 4-yard line.
From 20 yards out, Jack Slocker, one kick of the ball to ice this game. Field goal is up, and it is blocked. Still up in the air. Who has it? The Saints do. Captain Whirl will be downed at the 7. Heartbreak for the Saints.
3 missed field goals. Coach Van Arsdale, I know, is going to be mad. He's the special teams coach for St. Christopher's, and you cannot let this happen. I don't know where the guy that blocked the ball was from, but I do know they have a new snapper in there for field goals. It used to be Henry Alejandro, who was a bigger guy to block the guy. Now they have Harrison Fuller, who's a little skinnier, so the gaps are smaller, and you can be able to get over Fuller a lot easier. So that was very unfortunate. The overtime rules, though, are like college. Instead of getting the ball at the 25, you get the ball at the 10, and you have 4 plays.
It's the 10?
It's the 10.
Is it?
It's the 10. You get 4 plays to score a touchdown.
I thought it was the 20. Hold on. We will confirm with our rules analyst. We're not watching a review.
So it's 4 plays to score a touchdown, 10 yards each team. Like college, you go into a team wins, I believe.
Something I want to shout out on that play is Captain Whirl could have saved the game for St. Christopher's. He made a heads-up play after the kick was blocked to pick that ball up. If that was a live ball. So if Woodberry picks that up and takes it back, the game's over.
Correct.
So heads-up play from Captain Whirl.
Jack Slocker was going for it too, but
that's true.
But I don't know if he's going to make a tackle.
Yeah, Slocker is a great kicker. There's a reason he's a kicker and not a linebacker.
So if you win this toss, if you're St. Chris, you have to defer and take the ball second. It's the only right call because you want to see what Woodberry does. You want your senior defense out there who's been doing very well all game and try to stop them, make 0 points allowed, or make them kick a field goal so your offense can go out there and get a walk-off touchdown to win the game.
The last game I can remember going into overtime was that game at Freeman. It was 358 days ago, and they looked dead. Down 14-0, 5 minutes to go. Khalil Nash somehow rallied back the offense, and after a blocked field goal in overtime when Freeman had the ball first, Khalil ran it in to pull off a miraculous comeback for the Saints, and
that was a great win for St. Chris. I think it's a totally different scenario.
It is.
This game, St. Chris felt like they had the momentum, the power, the control all game until the past 2 minutes.
They've missed 3 field goals that would have won them the game.
Correct. And not even field goals, 2 extra points basically. That they've missed
a 20-yarder, an extra point, and then the 41-yarder. I'm not going to put blame on Slocker. That's a very hard kick.
He was close on that one.
You know, UVA's football team went, I believe, at one point 8 years without hitting a 40-yard field goal. So, you know, 40 is no chip shot especially for a high school kicker.
And St. Chris is playing defense first. That's what you want if you're a St. Chris fan. So, Coach Toon is going to call the defensive plays here, and it looks like St. Chris is their normal defense out there. They're not going Bunjo 5 down linemen quite yet, so they're going to be 4 down linemen with 2 safeties.
I mean, Riley, could you ask for a better game here on this Friday night?
Yes. A walk-off field goal.
That's true.
I
mean,
I don't like this overtime.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot more stressful.
A
lot of these players have been into it.
I should have phrased that as, could you ask for a more entertaining game?
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean.
Fun working with you today.
Yeah. So they have the ball on the 10-yard line. Woodberry Forest seemed dead, down 14 going into the 4th quarter. As they're going to hand it off to Hyder. Oh, no, the quarterback will keep it. That's Carter. He's going to bounce it outside, and he is
1 touchdown.
This is still a very important coming up. What does Woodberry do here? Do you take the PAT or?
Of course, St. Chris hasn't made a field goal since the second touchdown of the game. So
but
he blocked it.
Then you are also giving St. Chris, if they score a touchdown, a chance to win the game from 2 yards away.
I don't think St. Chris will do that at a home game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't think you do that at a home game. Away game, it's different, but
that's true.
But Woodberry's kicking a field goal, but one play, one touchdown is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you're a St. Chris fan, they were in a Wildcat
so
with Carter in the back.
Remember, Osada missed a kick that would have put Woodberry up. He slipped.
Jacob coming off the edge.
See his extra point here. It is up, and it is good. So Woodberry Forest leads 27-20, and St. Chris knows what they need to do. You need to get in the end zone.
So if St. Chris scores this, it's second overtime, and St. Chris will get the ball first, just like college rules. So somebody has to win this game. It's not going to end in a tie like soccer.
Yep. Saints coming out in the I form. One of Cabanas or Farley likely getting the football here, as it will be Farley. Mikey Farley is going to gain about 4 yards. Not a bad.
Keep doing that.
Yeah.
They've been able to get a first down on 2 runs almost all day today. You got 4 plays to get a touchdown. Just run it. If you get 4 yards in 4 plays, you're past the end zone basically. So just keep running the ball. I don't think you pass it here unless you go for negative plays, negative yardage.
Yeah, I agree. Nash gonna keep it. Khalil Nash bounces it right. Loss of yardage. Massive play from the Tigers defense. And just like that, St. Christopher's probably starting to feel the pressure now. 3rd down from the 8-yard line. They need to get in the end zone, and
very unorganized play there. But like you said, they probably start feeling the pressure. But I know Khalil Nash he's probably a little bit more tense, but he's still relaxed.
Yeah.
He's a senior quarterback. He's been through this before. He knows how to handle this situation. You still have 2 downs to get almost 9 yards. So
yeah.
I'd run the ball. I wouldn't pass it here.
They were in an overtime game last year at Freeman. Khalil put the team on his back, scored 3 touchdowns in the span of 5 minutes to win. Nash drops back over the middle. It's intercepted, and Woodberry is going to win the game. Shocking defeat for the Saints.
And Woodberry Forest rushing the St. Chris field.
I mean, heartbreaking for the Saints. This was a game they needed to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're not dead yet, but they backed themselves into a corner. Have to win the next 2 weeks.
You do. St. Chris was in control this whole game. It's very sad to see that end in that way, but if you're a coaching staff, you played 3 great quarters of football. And the 4th quarter, the game that mattered, or the quarter that mattered, really was tough. They couldn't kick a field goal, couldn't really move the ball when they needed to. They fumbled it.
What cost them the game was that fumbled handoff.
I wouldn't say that. There was many things. I wouldn't put one player on the game. They missed extra points. They missed field goals. They didn't block it. The fumble, like you say. So if that defense doesn't allow one play, one touchdown, it's a different mojo. Like 1 play, 1 touchdown for any team is a very big momentum swing. So that helped Woodberry's defense tremendously.
Yeah, that'll be it from us at STC TV. They're back here at Knowles Field next week in a must-win game against the reigning state champions, Trinity. Saints now fall to 4-3. Their playoff hopes rely on these next 2 weeks. At home against Trinity, on the road against Collegiate. They need to run the table. That's it from us at STC TV. We thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all.